Hi there, this is AmassGames. My name is Simon Lavender, and I'm going to give you a how-to for this game, Periodic. So you may have already seen the unboxing. This is now me having played the game, show you how to do it, and I've already explained this game to other people. Play this game as a 5, and I'll be showing you exactly what you'll be doing on your turn, as well as what people have been doing and how the scores fared. So this is the board. You may recall seeing this before. Let's bring it down a little bit, enough to basically just show you some stuff in shot and obviously what you'll be doing. So we have just enough room to basically put this in perspective. Here's the rules, as I mentioned before in the unboxing, as well as basically the story of the elements. Very interesting. I spent a bit of time reading that. So I've punched everything. Everything is now out in play. We've got these cards, which we'll be placing out in a second. Cubes, which should go out for various things too. We basically have what's known as currency. We have points. We have something per player. And I might chuck out one for everybody, just to show you how it works. Additionally, I initially did put everything into a bag individually, but somehow I've ended up with a spare one again. And these are the gold cards. So that's everything in the box. The last thing are these little victory bonus point things that you can use. So just about enough space on here to show you how it all works. So the way you lay it out is you start off with the cards at the bottom. These are these things here. And that's to do with the different types of element. So we have agenda cards. So in a 2 to 4 player game, you'll be giving 3 out, and then they'll choose one of them. In a 5-player game, you'll be picking one of 2. So in this instance, you'll be able to look through these things and say, okay, this is actually the card that I had. You'll get 1 academic point for each thing on the academic track, which I'll show you what that is, and 2 points for every, should we say, 3 compound goal card you complete. I'll show you what that means as well. Separately on this one, you've got other points for doing different things. These are orders of difficulty. So they'll be distributed, so they'll go off to the side. Imagine somebody's been given them. These are also randomized, and they're basically played off to the side. So you've got these down here. So you've got 4 on one side as an arc, and then over here to the other side. Now the reason why I chose not to zoom out any more than I am is just to give you a bit more of an indication of what's going on. So we also have goal cards. Goal cards will be going at the top, and they go in a color order. So you start off with those easy single level things at the top. So these are these ones here, and they're a single compound. So you're having a stack of these, and there'll be a stack of 6 of those up here on the left. You're then going to have those which are 2 level compounds next to them to the right, and then you're going to have level 3, such as this one over here, and level 4 over here, which is stainless steel as an example. So what I'll do is I'll give you a bit of a run through as what this represents. I'll leave this just in play, and you'll see what I'll be doing. So when you lay these things out, so you're going to have your green, you're going to have your blue, purple, and then red. You'll be placing out these specific symbols with your tokens. So these are these tokens which represent those different types of goal cards to go towards. So these will pop out. You'll have 2. So everything on this one will always take 2 to make a metal vapor laser. So what people like about this game is the fact that they learn quite a bit about what on earth a metal vapor laser is and what you do with it. I found the quickest way of doing it is purely to go left to right to try and find the numerical order on where these things are. So I'll just chuck out gallium. So gallium is 31, 33, and 49. Now, there are playtesters for this game. I don't know how they worked out maybe complexity or maybe the difference to move around, but it seems to work quite effectively, and you'll see later what kind of scores people got as well. So, speaking of scores, there are different ways to get victory points, and I'll show you what those are like in a second. 19 is potassium. And finally, carbon, chromium, and iron. So carbon's 6, only that one. Chromium's 24 over here, and 26 is there. So if you complete this one, you're going to get 6 victory points. This one's 7, 8, and 9. Some of them vary, some of them are worth 10, but they're shuffled initially. Everybody will have a small bag each, which has a microscope, a flask, a should we say, an atomic track thing over here as well, which I'll just move on to show you what that looks like. And finally, we've got these cubes. So on your turn, you can choose to move. And when you move, you'll see what I do. You'll be choosing to say, Well, let's say we start wherever we wish to start. You'll be starting on the highest place up on the left-hand side based on where you are on the left-hand side of the board. So over here, first player starts here, second player will start on this location, third player starts all the way over to the right-hand side in the second from the top position, so basically always skipping by 2. So there'll be noble gases up at the top right, and then position 4 will be post-transition metals. Position 5 also will go on this post-position track over here. So that goes over there. And then what happens is player 1, I'll have their player marker on the 0 position. Player 2 will be the same, player 3 the same, and then 2 and 2 for players 4 and 5. In terms of money, you'll all start off with a total of 3 atoms each, which you can use to move. But players 4 and 5, player 1 will get 3, player 4 will get 5, player 2 will get 4, player 3 will get 5, and then going to player 4, they get 3 again, and player 5 gets 4. The reason why they're doing it is they're still benefiting from this kind of stuff, so they're getting victory points this way. So on your turn, this person, say, is alkali metals. They're starting the alkali metal section, which is down here. They always start in the top left where they can be, and on their turn they can choose to move. So, as an example, this person is thinking of 2 things. Firstly, they have got these gold cards to consider. So with my one that I had, I want to get up this track, because every position I move up, I get an additional victory point at the end. So if I move up, I'll get 2. Move up again, I'll get a total of 4 at the end, 7, etc. Now, only one person can occupy space at the end, which is 28. What that means is you've basically moved around. I'll show you how that works. 2 people can occupy space 23, and 3 people can occupy space 18. The game ends when all of one of these stacks has gone, or when one person has reached there and somebody else has reached here. Then you'll then end the round. So, how does movement work? So, let's just say we're player 1 and we have 3 of these atoms to spend. You can go anywhere you like. So, down here, you can go left to right, up to 5 spaces. That can loop around. So, if I go to 3, I go all the way around to 2 over there. I can increase ionization energy. Now, you can read the book. I have got a bit confused on the actual chemistry and how that works again, but basically it lets you move up or right and up as you feel. So if I want to try and complete this, I might want to get to 2. So to get to 2, I'm going to go left 2 spaces, 1, 2, and end my movement. These all start off with 1 on them initially. So if I want to go up there and I end my movement, I take one of my 6 cubes and I place it over here. I did wonder if you end up using all 6. Yes, you sometimes do need all 6 out. So I go over here. Now what happens if on somebody else's turn they want to go here? They can. They just chuck down one of their cubes on here as well. And then if on the same turn or whenever it happens, they complete this, as I start to do something there, I get 3 victory points towards the end. If I happen to be over here and I had 2, then I would get 5 victory points. Now, it could happen that you might want to be focusing on these cards, as I said, in addition to the victory points. So if you went there and completed it, you'd get 6, but you'd get 5 or 3, so there's a 7, 5, 3 instance there. But what you could be doing is focusing on this track at the same time. Now, the way that works is I started over here, bottom left, at alkali metals. Now, if I'm at alkali metals, I want to be trying to get up to halogens. If I get up to halogens, such as these guys over here, then by moving up, so I take out my microscope, that's where I started, and I move up to there. If I can end my movement on one of these noble gases, halogens. So the benefit of that is this track moves up. This is useful because obviously this is handy because only one person can go at the end, but also it's a tie break. So at the end of the game, what can happen is there being an equal score. So you can plonk your way around and move around if you wish to, and of course you can do that once. I happened to do that quite early in the last game, and then I just focused on everything else. So you can choose to pay 1 atom to any of these 5 locations and move left or right, up or down, if it's got that symbol relevant for it. Or you can be choosing to take. So you can take everything from one stack. So imagine these have been accumulating. You can take all of them and just move in that direction once. I say once because you can only activate 1 zone. So the options are one of 2. you can choose to either take everything and move once, or imagine you've accumulated loads of atoms. You can spend 1 to go left and right as far as you wish and maybe collect something. Then you can't activate it again, but what you can do is then say go to ionize energy and you'll pay 2. You'll pay 2 here, 2 here, 2 here as an example. So you can go as many times as you wish, but you're going to have to spend 1 for the first one, 2 for the second, 2 for the second after that as well. So it's whether or not you want to bank up loads of atoms, which somebody chooses to do in this game, or spend them as you wish to go. The risk, of course, is somebody might then try to complete something. We don't know what their hidden agenda is, but you roughly know that if someone's here and you're nearby, they could choose to scoop it up. But if they haven't got any things on there, they're going to have to need at least 5 chips to do so. Now, there's one thing I haven't got out yet, which are these things. These represent and correspond to the symbol. So what you're doing is choosing to do a movement, which could then lead to you completing one of those things, which you can do either by doing a singular movement to complete it, or doing a double movement, which is basically when you're spending. So either you're gaining and moving once, or spending and moving as many times as you can afford to. So for purple, you get a free trend. What this means is you basically get to choice the next turn that you have picked this up, or whenever else afterwards, to one-off move in those directions, either up and right, or down and left. And then what you're doing is going to just chuck this back in the box. Now the greens are all moving 3 spaces, and it's up to 1, 2, or 3. For blue, you can take 2 energy. Very simple, just take 1 or 2 from one of the spaces you're on. Now when you do take, what you can do is if you really wanted to go somewhere and there's nothing there, in a 2-player you'll take 1 from the box, or you'll be taking 1 from whoever you wish. And then you've got these pinks over here, which is moved to, and he lets you choose a specific place, but I don't think you know that in advance. It's a bit of a risk. But it's a strong thing. You can go whizzing across the board that way. So these are very nice pieces to play around with. They're not sharp edges, they're nice and curved. So how did the scores pan out? So I played it on Tuesday as a 5-player, and I happened to go first. The first player is the person who last touched calcium carbonate, or seashells, chalk, something like that. Having gone for a hike on Monday, I definitely had to grip onto some to get up this lovely hill range. So how did the scores pan out? I finished 3rd. I had 77 points. The winners, well, I'd say winners, it was 96 points for the person who came first and second. The person who won on the tie break down here. So it is important that they happen to be further along this track. They happen to get, I think, at least 18 points on their goal card. And so there's different strategies to go for. The person who came last had 51, and they who are also trying to go quite hard on this track, but came into second. And the other score was quite close to mine on 71. In terms of how the game plays, people really enjoyed it. They like the fact you can move left and right. It's not just a grid. It actually has some meaning to it. And also what people liked is the fact that they worked out what's in a fluorescent light bulb, that kind of thing. So people really enjoyed that kind of elements. One player was particularly slow, which they haven't necessarily been in the past, but it seems that amongst other things, you need to think, well, is somebody going to get something or not? So that's to bear in mind. Another thing is when you do take one of these cards, you've then got to make sure you move these things around. Now, there's a positive and negative to these things. And the negative is, yes, you need to quickly find 2 to 3 things and find the new location. It isn't a terrible thing because it lets you familiarize yourself, but actually I think it is a great novelty to not have to try and find it and actually see physically where you need to get to. And again, more than one person can land here and can help you with these objectives. So the gold cards are really good. I really liked the elements that you can be either going for these, you can be going for this at the same time. I think to get a good score, you definitely need to be working on both. But there's other good features too, and that is that hidden objective. Are they more powerful, some than others? Potentially. With 2 people getting that same score, I think unless both were particularly heavy, that might be a thing to do with it. I don't think there's too much sort of screwing over, focusing on one thing over another. So I think that works too. And ultimately, as I mentioned, people find it very interesting, and the education really sort of shines through. So that's the how-to and a brief overview on the review, on what people have thought about it. I'll be doing another game of this hopefully tonight, and you'll see, hopefully with maybe different player counts or the kind of awards and the things people work towards might vary as to how those scores pan out. The scoring, that final round, some people found it took a little while to play to a degree, but that was only because familiarising myself with actually you can score and end going over here is one option. So that is it in a nutshell. I'm just going to pack it away now. As you can see, it's pretty easy to pack away. I believe I've already done a weighing, so I don't think I need to show you everything. But this is periodic. The name isn't listed on the game, but obviously we've got a pretty good understanding. It definitely caught other people's eyes. We had 5 other people watching us, and yeah, they're keen to get involved and try it out themselves. The final thing is over here. Now, down here, if you see, there are a whole other bunch of elements that are also used in the periodic table, but in this particular version, they're aware that they're choosing not to show them. If you happen to be here or where these locations are, you can simply move across, and you just move one, and you move literally all the way over there. In terms of the elements that are used, I didn't see everything listed. I think that could be a possibility. I haven't counted everything as well. That's another factor. But no, it's a shiny board. It's a pretty small board, which is a positive thing too. And yeah, it had its perks in terms of people who enjoyed playing that. So this is periodic, and I hope you enjoy it. It's recently came out this year, and if you're ever keen to have a game, this might be something you want to check out. So that is periodic. Thank you.